Hello once again, my friends. I'd like to welcome you to another update on our build for the SS Poseidon. I had to hold off until I got all the parts I needed in order to bring this ship to life. So I got all the stuff in the mail. So I'm going to go over the stuff with you, the plans, and what we're going to do next for this very lovely lady. So I got the lighting, the motors for the propellers, as well as the smoking stacks. So let me go ahead. We're going to take a look at all the stuff we got to bring the SS Poseidon to life. Okay, just to recap the plans that we're doing for the ship. I had wanted to model it after the Poseidon model, the actual filming model, and it's got the smoking stacks, rotating propellers, and it's got the lights. The smokestacks are lit, and the smokestacks actually smoke. So the filming model was actually contained. It had a battery supply, and it had all those features on it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to wait until I had all the pieces that I needed. So if we're going to look at the lighting plan first, the smokestacks on the model were lit. So we're going to light the fronts of them, and I'm going to use SMDs on that. When it comes to the bridge area and this area over here, as well as the upper decks, we're going to use the 3mm LED bulbs. And when it comes to lighting the hull, we could have used, I was thinking about using the LED tape, but that would bring it to a different power supply level where we would need to run this. So that's why I'm thinking that we're actually going to go with the 5mm bulbs in the hull, because it'll make it lit up. But if you remember the filming model, it's not really bright. And the LED tape will really make it bright on the inside. So I think we're going to go with the 5mm bulbs, and we'll stagger them in a way where you can tell the ship is lit, but it's not going to look toyish. So we're going to use, let me see, get the SMDs, and what these are going to do, let me see if I can pull one out for you. And we're going to put the resistors on them. Yeah, all right, I had to get one out. See how really tiny they are. So these are going to be perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it up in front of each smokestack, just like it is in the movie. I know if you look at the Queen Mary now, the way she is at night lit up, she's really bright. But in the movie, it's very dim. So we're going to bring the brightness down to the SMD to light each smokestack. So that's going to be for the smokestacks. For the upper decks, the boat decks, the promenade, we're going to be using the 3mm bulbs. And to light the hull, we're going to use the 5mm LEDs. So I'm not going to go with the LED tape for this. I can't, I think, yeah, these are the 5mm. And the good thing about this is you can get a ton of them. They're relatively inexpensive. So the hull is going to be lit with the 5mm. Again, we have to put the resistors on. And lastly, we're going to use the 3mm. And I just had them. Anyway, to show you guys what a 3mm, what that bulb looks like. Obviously, we're not going to use the green, but I got an envelope of the 3mm. But just to show you the difference between the two, and then finally the SMDs that are going to be up in front of the smokestacks. And who knows, maybe we'll use the SMDs to light up the bridge area. But that's going to be the lighting of the ship. So once the lighting plan is all taken care of and we know what we're actually going to do, that'll bring us to the smoking of the stacks. So the way the instructions are, we might make it possible where I might have to put this on first, and we might actually do this differently than the instructions. We might start from the top down. But we're going to do the smokestacks. We're going to attach it to this boat deck. And then we're going to get the wiring of the lights for the smokestacks, and we're going to actually wire the circuit and the mechanism that's going to cause the smokestacks to actually smoke. It's going to be water vapor as opposed to the oil. I think that'll be a little bit better. It'll be a little bit cleaner. But let me show you guys what I mean. I finally got this in to share with you. I don't know, these things give me such a hard time to open. Okay. So what I had gotten was I got 4 of them, just in case I had a problem with any of them. So I want to show you the layout. So the scheme when it comes to these, they come kind of, if those of you that are doing the Agora models Titanic, it's along the same principle. We have a little tube that's going to hold the moisture, and that's going to go into this plastic container, and what you're going to do is you're going to soak the it's almost like a cigarette filter. It's going to absorb the water, but when that goes up against the plate, it's going to vaporize and it's going to look like smoke. So let me show you guys what the pieces look like. So let me get everything out, because there is a couple of different, each one is going to be on its own circuit. So this is going to be the moisture. This is going to hold the moisture, and this is going to go right up against the plate like that. Now these are a little big. We necessarily might not have to be stuck to these, because when it comes to the smokestack itself, there's not going to be a ton of room, and the important part to me is just to get the actual mechanism that's going to cause the water vapor. So we've got this section, this ring, and I'm going to file it down a bit so we can get it to fit perfectly into the smokestack. So once that's done, you can see the little clip, and this is going to go into the circuit board. So let me tentatively put this in to show you guys. It's going to go this way. I'm not going to lock it into place. I just want to kind of show how it's going to go. So we got the circuit board that's going to go at the bottom, and there's actually a switch. It's a push switch. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out how to put them all in a circuit on their own. If not, it's not the end of the world, because like I said with the top, I can keep that where we can remove that section to get access to this. So each time I'd want to put the smokestacks on, I'd have to take that off. We'll push the button on each smokestack, and then they'll start spewing the water vapor. So the housing, and again, this can be filed down, but I'm thinking that we don't really need this. I think this is going to clip into place. Yeah, it's like a lock into place thing, so I don't want to clip it in yet. But you can see we don't need this top piece. We'll just use something like this, and that will fit into the smokestack. And worst case scenario, instead of having the water being drawn up, I can always have it on and we put a drop of water on each one, and it'll vaporize it that way. So we don't necessarily need the inner workings for the smokestack. The most important thing is the plate that'll go on the top. And again, I'll file this down so it fits on the inside, because I've already done one, and it'll fit. So the wire will come through. So we'll feed it through. This will go on top. It'll be on the inside. And I'm thinking we'll use the cap. We'll just put it on for decoration, and we'll remove it when I want the smokestacks to smoke. The wire will be coming through. It will go into the circuit board, and then the circuit board in turn will go into the hull. So everything, remember, is going to be wired up for one switch. So that is what's going to make the smokestacks smoke. Because I looked into the oil, and I think it's better to have just the water vapor. And when the water vaporizes, it's got like a mist that comes out that's going to be perfect for the smokestacks. And again, this is a little large. This can be filed down. Again, if we go that route, we just need something the size of a cigarette filter that's going to go through just enough where it's going to touch the plate, just like that. And then the wire will run through, and that's going to look really, really cool. And that is going to be for the smoking stacks. We're going to have all three smoke, and it shows you kind of a side view of the mechanism that's going to be used. Okay, so that brings us to the propellers now. I was thinking how I could make it where one motor could run all of the propellers, but I just don't have the gears, and I don't really know how to do that from scratch. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use the motors, and I got the motors in, so let me show you guys the plan. We need 4 of them. And these motors are relatively inexpensive, and they come larger, but I wasn't able to find one smaller. I know they make them, I just couldn't find them. So what we're going to do is we're going to side mount them. We're going to have 2 that are going to be on the outer parts, and again, they're going to be this way. And then we're going to have 2 on the inner part, and we're going to add shafts on to bring it down to the back. So let me show you the hull. So instead of starting with the hull part, we're actually going to start from the top down. We're going to be using the smokestacks and the boathouses first. All right. I just wanted to clip it to hold it together. Okay, so now you can see the back. We don't have a ton of room, and the propellers are going to come out the back. You can see the housing for the shafts, and she's got 4 propellers. So what we're going to do is on the inside, we're going to hot glue 2 of the motors on the inner parts, and then we're going to put 2 more for the inner propellers. But the way I'm going to do it is we're going to have 2 in the front and 2 in the back, because these are a little bit larger. Again, because I've been looking for smaller ones, but these are pretty much the smallest ones I could find. Of course, that's subject to change. If I do find smaller motors, of course, we'll go with that. But what we're going to do is we're going to have 4 of them, and they're all going to be wired together, and we're going to use resistors because we don't want them spinning like a fan. We want it to be a little bit slower. So that's going to be for the propellers. So the plans right now, we've got everything we need now. So we're going to have the hull lit, we're going to have the propellers rotate, and we're going to have the smokestacks smoking. So that's going to look really cool. So I wanted to show you guys everything that we have needed to go ahead with the build. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start to prepare the funnels. So we're going to paint them. Where did I just see that? Okay, we're going to take the part, we're going to file it down so this fits into the smokestack, and then we're going to try them out. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We'll do a demonstration. But in my next video, we're going to paint the smokestacks. We're going to put them together. We're going to put the little details on, because I know the ones in the front have the whistles. So we're going to start to actually bring the Poseidon to life. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video, just getting everything ready to start the build. But until my next video when we do the smokestacks, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.